It's okay. You want to sleep again? Why you always get so sad when I go live? Hi. Yo, what's up? Hello, guys. Hello. Ellie, just take a nap. You were literally sleeping right now. Why do you wake up the second I go live? Hello. What's up, guys? Yo. You guys ready? We might only stream for like 2 hours today. Easy finish volume 2 and my life is yours. But no, you probably got mad when I said we're only going to read for like 2 hours. One sec. Let me turn on the air in my room. It got kind of hot. You gonna go out? Go for it. Is it okay, Ellie? Give me like 2 hours. Like, if we're doing 2 hours Monday to Friday, I think we might be able to finish it this weekend. Right? Or am I tripping? Thursday, Thursday I'm gonna try and secure my Switch 2 pre-order. So I probably won't stream until I get that secured. I'm gonna do my best to see if I can secure a pre-order. Ooh, my internet's kind of laggy. Knock on wood. I think we'll be good. Knock on wood, but I think we'll be good. Knock on wood, people. But I think we'll be good. Oh my goodness, I can't. My camera looks crooked now. Do you see the Oblivion remaster? Bro, I already have it. I pre-installed that bitch. I already have it installed. I'll be honest. I wasn't even gonna stream. I was literally just gonna be playing Oblivion. But I was like, you know what? No. I have to, like, we have to finish volume 2. We'll finish volume 2 and then we'll take like 1 week off so I can go through Oblivion as quickly as we can. If Wiz catches up, what? The king of stalling over here, but never. Yeah, I think Anime Wiz is on vacation, right? He said he had like a whole week off, so he was gonna be reading like 20 chapters a day. I commend him, man. That's crazy. I was only able to knock one 20 chapter stream like when we were finishing volume 1. Hear me out. If Wiz catches up, you and him should do a stream on the finale together. Oh, you know what? I feel like I'd be really confused. Maybe. But I'll be honest, I think we're gonna finish it around the same time. Alright, let's just go right into it. Dude, I've been doing my notes. I literally thought I got fucking spoiled, but it wasn't a spoiler. We were good. One sec, let me do... Okay, easy, I'm here. You can stop stalling. Bet. Oh, what's up, Ebby? Ebby was here. Dude, what's up? Don't worry, zero stalling. Don't worry, we're going straight into it. Dude, thank you for putting out all the videos that weren't on the playlist. I was able to kind of like pinpoint all the ones, and then we were able to fix it. Alright, we're going to start now. Zero stalling. Let me just pop out my chat. Put it down here so I can see you guys. And let's get started. Wait, hold up. Let me organize these tabs properly. Give me 30 seconds. 30 seconds and we're starting. We're starting in 30 seconds. Ooh, look at that. Oblivion remasters pre-installed. I'd be down if they do more when next, man. I ain't gonna lie. Only 0.5 stalling? Never. Never have ever. Okay, 0.5. We'll all go to sleep now. Oh, you have exams in bit? Yo, you rest, bro. We'll have the potion up quick. The potion? We'll have the VOD up quickly. Bye. Yeah, take care, Nagano. Alright, you guys ready? We have now started the recording. Today we'll be reading chapter 421 and onwards. The plan is to stream for like a little bit over 2 hours. I almost didn't stream just so I can play the Oblivion remaster, but I can't do that to you guys. We're so close to the end. We need to finish. Easy, you must keep the lead, and we gotta keep the lead. We at least have to keep the lead until we finish volume 2 before we get passed by Anime Wiz, because I know he's on break. So mysteries. And if you like what you're going to see as my OBS crashes and the stream buffers, we have the recording going. Make sure you like, comment, sub, join our little book club. We started Shadow Slave. It's gonna be a little bit slow for the next few weeks, but eventually we'll be reading more of that once we finish Lord of Mysteries, or we take a little break in between. We'll see what happens. All right, let's go. Go. We ain't got time. Zero stalling. Look at that beautiful intro in less than a minute. How's the stream? Are we good? Because I know it crashed on my end. No breaks, only peak. Zero breaks, only peak. Go. We gotta keep up that lead, bro. Every time I fucking go on YouTube, Anime Wiz is live, and I'm like, he's almost catching up. Like he was 250 chapters behind, then he was like 200, and now we're almost like at 100 chapters of a difference. Whew. All right, we're good. Okay, if the stream randomly cuts, I'll restart it right away. Just heads up. All right, chapter 421. I was on chapter 8 by accident of Shadow Slave. It's called Expensive Materials. And as I'm saying that, we're going to update this part up here. The front door to Jackson Patrick's house suddenly burst open and a group of Nighthawks in black tweed coats jogged inside. They were vigilant and alert and expressions as though they were facing an extremely terrifying enemy. Tap, tap, tap. A person decked out in a full silver armor walked in. The armor exuded a feeling that made it seem like it was abnormally heavy. Various details about it adhered to an ancient style, and from its left shoulder all the way diagonally to the abdomen area, it was stained with a splash of dark red blood that appeared impossible to remove, coupled with the... Oh, yeah, I remember this. Coupled with the spurting red spots in other places, it created a very unique and beautiful scene, as it was a unique and magnificent decoration. Sol Azure Soist. I cannot pronounce that. Out of his pocket, watched and gave it a look. Changed. The silver armor stopped, lifting its visor to reveal the wearer. It was a handsome man with black hair and green eyes. Leonard, hot water had been prepared in the master's bathroom on the second floor. Don't delay any longer, otherwise you'll only be able to return to the embrace of the goddess. Soest exhorted him. Yes, Captain Soist. Leonard Mitchell, with the help of the rest of the Nighthawks, removed his heavy blood-stained silver armor. With the red gloves on, he didn't say anything, nor did he hesitate as he rushed to the second floor and he found the bathtub still billowing with white steam. Leonard quickly stripped off his clothes and Whoa, what are we reading? Yo, what's up? Leonard quickly stripped off his clothes and lied down in front of the hot water without even exposing his nose. His skin quickly turned red like a cooked lobster, and strange scar-like silver lines gradually started to appear on the surface of his skin. Those silver lines were like pure blade beams, which constantly spread outwards and fused with the hot water. In less than 10 seconds, the stem disappeared and the thin layer of transparent ice formed on the surface of the hot water. It is getting spicy. Only when all the silver lines dispersed did Leonard... What was their difference? Ooh, only 117. Damn, over 200. Only when all the silver lines dispersed did Leonard sit up, panting heavily. He cocked his head slightly as if he was listening to something. Then he said with a lowered voice, "Old man, do you know the origins of 142? Oh, yeah, it was the first official grade 1 artifact. What chapter are you at? What chapter are you at, Queen? An elderly voice rang out in his mind. You're getting more and more impolite. I don't know where the strange armor comes from. Without waiting for Leonard to ask further, he let out a chuckle. But I think I recognize the owner of the blood. Who is it? Leonard asked curiously. The slightly aged voice said in a low, deep voice, an ancient god before the cataclysm? Okay, lore? South of the bridge, Rose Street, Harvest Church. As soon as Klein stepped into the quiet prayer hall, he saw Father Wachowski and Vampire Emlyn White out in front of him and one on his back, sitting on the chairs of different heights. Their hands were placed in front of their mouths and noses, with their fingers clasped together and palms empty. This was the unique prayer position of the Church of Mother Earth. Right now, Emlyn White's expression was gentle and calm, without any trace of arrogance and vexation which he had before. Klein slightly moved to the corner of his mouth as he silently drew a triangular sacred emblem on his chest. He took a seat at random, waited until the prayer was over, and then walked over to Emlyn White. He said with a smile, "You are especially pious today." What? Emlyn snapped to his senses as he muttered to himself while his expression was pale. What have I done? What have I done? His voice trailed off as though recalling what he had just done. Maybe it's not a bad thing. Klein consulted the vampire in an utterly unconvincing manner before sitting down next to him. I don't want to hear others say something like that, although I feel my resistance is weakening. Emlyn wore a livid expression, and he said with a tone filled with despondence, "But I don't want to betray the moon." Klein didn't continue with the topic that depressed the vampire as he casually asked, "Do you sanguines worship the primordial moon or a particular deity that represents the moon?" Oh, stop. We're gonna go before, right? I have to miss the streams. Oh no, don't miss the streams. No, I'm kidding. Or perhaps the two of them can be considered the same. All of them. Emlyn slightly raised the chin to a pure-blooded sanguine. I know you guys were telling me. I'm sorry. Rinse and repeat. I'm sorry. I messed up the pronunciations. To a pure-blooded San, we obviously believe in the deity that represents the moon. Of course, it is the god who represents the moon. Lilith? Her name is Lilith. Lilith was one of the ones that Derek mentioned from the 8, ancient gods, right? Lilith. Her name is Lilith, and she is the ancestor of us sanguines, an ancient deity. And when humans become them? When humans become sanguine, They tend to worship the primordial moon. Under normal circumstances, the two can be considered equivalent, but there are times where they do not overlap and there are differences. A human becoming ensanguined. Klein wasn't surprised by Emlyn White was able to say that the name of an ancient god from the second epoch. Instead, he was more concerned about the tidbit about humans. Oh, no. It's a god from the second epoch. Okay, never mind. Is this the vampire sequence that Mr. Zig had mentioned? He thought. Emlyn said with a slightly complicated expression, yes, there are two types. One is transformed from a bestowment from a powerful sanguine, and the other is transformed from consuming a corresponding potion. The latter is of the most hated enemy. Why? Klein vaguely guessed an answer. Emlyn gritted his teeth and replied, the main ingredient of this potion is our blood essence, as expected. Oh, like a god's blood, you use a sanguine's blood and you become one. Okay. As expected, Klein turned his head and sized up Emlyn a few times. The gaze left Emlyn feeling a little nervous as he snorted. You're already beyond her. There's no way you can switch pathways. It's only because this is my first time seeing a walking, no, a living, talking beyonder ingredient. Wait, yeah, this is true. This is my first time seeing a walking, no, a living, no, a talking beyonder ingredient. However, in a certain sense, every human beyonder is also such an ingredient. Klein originally only wanted to inwardly make a casual joke, but soon he felt a strong sense of sadness. At this moment, Emlyn looked at Bishop Lutrowski, who was carefully polishing the sacred emblem life, and said in a low voice, I found the two ingredients that you wanted. What are they? Klein didn't attempt to hide his joy. Emlyn responded smoothly. We found the hardest one, the main ingredient. 1,000-phase hunter mutated pituitary gland and blood. The asking price is 2,000 pounds, and for the former 300 pounds for 100 milliliters of the latter. 2,300 pounds. Klein blurted out, can I get a discount? After receiving his bail money back, he had a total of 2,180 pounds in cash. For a member of the middle class, this was already quite an abundant amount of savings. Perhaps some people might not be able to save that much money in their entire lifetime, but Klein found that it wasn't enough. No, if it weren't for me, he would have wanted at least 2,800, and according to the agreement, you would have paid me an extra 150 pounds for a total of 2,450 pounds, Emlyn said while shaking his head. Looking at Klein's expression, he quickly added, in this era, dragons are rare. Other than the long-lived sanguines, it is very difficult to find similar beyonder ingredients elsewhere. Even if they exist, they would be more expensive than ours. I'm still short 265 pounds. Having saved up so much money with such great difficulty, it will be emptied out at once. Yet I still don't have enough. I hope Mr. Hangman will be able to sell the werewolf beyonder characteristic as soon as possible. After this, there's still the characteristic of a human skin shadow and a deep-sea Nagas hair. It wouldn't be any cheaper. There's no way to confirm Little Son's side of things with needing to conduct himself properly. The amount he owes me is probably best repaid by using the means to remove a rampager's mental corruption in the mystical item. That would be a better form of concealment. Oh, and then he'd be able to digest. All right. Sequence 5. Sequence 5, Volume 3. I can see it. Many thoughts instantly flashed through Klein's mind as he felt the light outside the window dim significantly. He took a deep breath and said, okay, however, this deal will be delayed for some time. I recently provoked a fellow and am now being protected by official beyonders. I'm going to turn my volume down just a smidge. You don't wish for that cellar to be locked up in the cathedral basement, right? And I still have to gather the rest of the money. Klein tilted his head slightly to look at the cathedral's dome. Official beyonders, Emlyn White jumped up and looked around. Klein glanced at him and said, don't worry about it. You're now a priest of the Church of Mother Earth, and you have legal statuses. Moreover, Bishop Utrowski will protect you. I'm not. Emlyn's denial was exceptionally weak. He sat down again and suddenly thought of something as he said, can the official beyonders resolve the problem of a psychological cue? Maybe. Klein almost burst out laughing, but in that case, you will most likely become a believer of the Evernight Goddess and the God of Steam and Machinery, the Lord of Storms. Of course, you can also choose to become a member of the military special department. They might be able to send you overseas as a spy to seduce some noble woman. I only like puppets and pure, beautiful girls. Emlyn immediately empathized. I can tell that you're a little interested, but only a little. Klein switched gears and asked, do you know any members of the Beria family? Beria? From the demon family, the devil family, right? Beria, that's crazy family that worships devils. No, they are devils themselves. Emlyn blurted out, why are you looking for them? Klein helplessly said, I've offended one of them, Jason Patrick Beria, due to the serial murder case. Help me find out his recent whereabouts and acquaintances in your circle. If you have any accurate information, I will pay you depending on the importance of the information. Of course, this could also be claimed from the Nighthawks, the machinery hive mind, and the military. Klein thought with relief. Emily nodded thoughtfully. You actually dare to provoke a real devil. When you have exact information about him, he will know that you will bring him a great deal of harm. It's alright, I have the protection of the authorities, Klein replied indifferently. After a few seconds of silence, Emlyn said, well, I'll try it. The payment for the information needs to be at least 20 pounds. After finalizing this matter, Klein didn't stay any longer and he walked out of the cathedral. His mind was filled with the questions of how he was going to gather the money. Miss Magician's new book is about to be published. She should receive a sizable amount of money for it. There will still be royalties later on. Perhaps I can promote the astrologer potion formula to her. However, she hasn't even gathered all the potion ingredients of Trickmaster. Miss Magician has joined the Psychology Alchemists, and I have no formulas to sell her knowledge. The werewolf beyond her characteristic is worth about 1,300 pounds, perhaps even lower. Must I produce a mystical item, or should I think of a way to get Emlyn White to become a believer of the Fool? Is he going to be a new Terror Club member? Or just a believer? Receiving tributes at the cost of offering to remove the psychological cue. Right, Jason Bria carried a lot of cash, jewelry, and precious metals. If he can be found, perhaps I might get a share. As his thoughts raced, Klein walked out of the cathedral and saw the dark sky and the thin fog. He sighed and said, I'm really short on money. Back at Mink Street, Klein walked into the bathroom with a thick stack of newspapers in his hand as he was about to fight a protracted war. He wanted to head above the gray fog and use Jason's handkerchief to divine his whereabouts. Oh, like the dowsing rod method, right? Yo, hello. What's up, guys? Thank you guys for joining. All right, let's update. The true Jason. Sorry if I'm a little bit out of it. I am kind of I'm a little tired today. Just a little bit, but we're all good. We're all good. We're so close to the end of this volume, man. I can almost taste it. Yeah, so sorry. I apologize in advance if I am a little low energy. We didn't get much sleep. We didn't get much sleep, and we literally just got back, and I was like, I gotta go live right now. Otherwise, I'm gonna just play Oblivion all day and all night. And we don't want that to happen, especially because the Monster Hunter Cherry Blossom event started. I was like, I gotta read first. Ooh, almost deleted that. Okay, we're good. Next chapter. 422. We love the Sanguines, even if they don't reciprocate. The fool in this holy kingdom's the bathroom. Hello. The Lord of the Bathrooms. The armor has casual blood of an ancient god. Remember how the sun charm was made from a drop of blood of the sun? No, I remember that, D. The sun charm was made from the drop from one of his drops. Oh my god, I can't speak. No, I know. I'm over here thinking if maybe that armor was made in the same way that that Klein's charm was made. I mean, we'll see. When was purged to Sanguines. Good, no stalling, easy. Good. We gotta keep it going. We gotta keep up. We gotta keep up the pace. Chapter 422 is called The True Jason. Inside the bathroom in 15 Mink Street, Klein took out a paper figurine from a concealed pocket, shook it, and transformed it into a body double. He made the body double sit on the toilet with newspaper in his hand as a way to deceive others. Then he hid himself in the shadows, took 4 steps counterclockwise, and went above the gray fog. These series of actions were even more magical than magic. Inside the majestic ancient palace, Klein sat at the very top of the end of the long bronze table, conjuring Jason Buria's handkerchief in front of him. It was only projection, but it can also be used for divination as long as the handkerchief didn't leave his body in the real world. The earliest instance was back when he used the projection of the mutated sun's sacred emblem in Tingan City as a divination object. At the same time, he still didn't know how to summon himself, and he was unable to bring items with spirituality above the gray fog. Of course, there was still a big difference between using a projection and using the actual object for divination. Therefore, Klein often tried his best to use the actual object, but right now, with him being protected by official Beyonders, it wasn't that convenient to carry out a ritual. If anyone were to find his lighting candles in the day while out on the toilet, he would be in deep trouble. If I can really manage to obtain Jason Bria's location via divination, I can always take the risk by summoning myself and bringing the handkerchief up here if the revelation isn't clear enough. With a mumble, Klein produced a goat skin and fountain pen. He wrote the divination sentence, Jason Bria's current location. Why kill him? I'm not sure. No, man, they're homies, man. We love them. Normally speaking, relying on a handkerchief that the target used only during a certain ritual made it impossible to find the whereabouts of the target since the connection wasn't strong enough, and there was too much interference. For example, if it was very easy to end up provoking the Abyss Grand Duke, which the ritual was directed at. But for Klein, interferences could be eliminated. The so-called Abyss Grand Duke was at most a high-sequence devil, and not the incarnation of the dark side of the universe. Above the gray fog, the mysterious space had already handed handled deities like the eternal blazing sun and the true crater. Even a slightly weaker one was at the level of an angel, Mr. Door, and upon this point in time, he hadn't suffered any serious mishaps. As for the problem of the connection not being strong enough, Klein, who could only be enhanced to a certain degree by the gray fog, was helpless as well. He could only give it a try and try his luck. Perhaps it would only be after he became a high sequence beyonder saint in the domain that he could have the corresponding confidence. In theory, it's possible after all. When holding a ritual, one's body, heart, and mind were unfitted the most. It was also the easiest to communicate with the outside world. Klein, who was now barely considered an expert in the mysticism, muttered. He held a handkerchief with a goat skin with a divination statement written on it, and he leaned back into his chair. He quickly entered a state of cognition and constantly chanted Jason Brea's current location. After chanting it 7 times, Klein fell in a deep sleep and entered the dream world. Within the gray world, countless images flashed and intersected with each other in a rather dispersed manner. Soon the scene became clear and filled Klein's vision, which made him feel as if he had entered a dream. In the dream, the lights were dim and the desk was dark red. A figure was standing in front of the oriel windows looking out in the garden. There was a glass shed in the garden with roses blooming inside, bright red in the December cold. The figure of a man was projected on the window, and he was a medium height with curly brown hair and cold brown eyes. He looked to be in his 30s. This, am I not divining Jason Buria's location? Who's this? He feels a little familiar? Wait, the figure of a man was projected on the window. He was a medium height with curly brown hair and cold brown eyes. He looked to be in his 30s. This, am I not divining Jason Buria's location? Who is this? He feels a little familiar. Klein was puzzled, but he didn't think any further about it. He let his spirituality remain in a dispersed state, as if he were roaming the mysterious world. Just as he raised the question, the man turned and walked to the corner of the room where there were 2 large leather suitcases. The man squatted down and opened one of the suitcases. Inside was a neat stack of bills with gold bars placed on top of them. The notes that were exposed were all in 10-pound denominations, while the gold bars shone with an enchanting luster. The man pulled something out of a hidden pocket of his suitcase, shook it well, and opened it. It was a slightly pale piece of human skin. A complete piece of human skin. The man quickly stripped off his clothes and put on his human skin. In just 10 seconds, he became Jason Buria with tall cheekbones. This is kind of like Faceless, right? But he's using he's using human skin rather than just changing it. So no, this isn't like a shepherd pretending to be a devil using faceless abilities, right? No. This is something else. Blue eyes with a tint of gray and neatly combed hair. Humans, it's like a mask, right? I mean, we'll see. Ew, that's gross, bro. Oh, is that why it's called Jason? It's like the Texas Chainsaw Man, dude. You know how like his face is made of human skin? Ew, it's gross. At this point, the scene suddenly shattered and Klein opened his eyes. It's no wonder that Jason was willing to take a risk. So it turns out that in the past 10 years, he has always been wearing a human skin and has never shown his true face. As expected of a calm and crazy devil, Klein couldn't help but sigh. Jason had left his portrait in the house and didn't garner any suspicions from Isengard and others, because his neighbors had seen him and knew what he looked like. Even without the portrait, with the powers of Beyonders of the official organizations, it wouldn't be easy to reconstruct his likeness, and the results would have been even better than the photograph. Therefore, there was no reason for Jason to not have to drive to destroy something like that. This was something very logical. Who would have thought that he would have left a hoax in somewhere that looked to be the most natural? Wait, what? Who would have thought that he would have left a hoax in somewhere that looked to be most natural? If searches are made according to the portrait, even if the Nighthawks have sealed artifact 142, it wouldn't be that easy to lock onto the target. Moreover, in both times, he had used his own abilities to conceal his face. Who would have thought that his face, which has been tightly covered and concealed, was actually fake? Klein realized how cunning Jason was. He rubbed his temples and began to recall the scenes he saw in his dream divination. A house with a glass greenhouse. That's a pretty obvious feature. There aren't many similar buildings in Backland, but the question is, how do I report it? The moment I tell the machinery I find, Jason would definitely sense the danger and start to disguise himself and move away. How? Very logical. I got that chicken skin face. I feel like he just has like, hey guys, you guys want to go out for brunch? Like he has to lead them there without them knowing. Directly find the Nighthawks with sealed artifact 142. What if I encounter someone familiar? I don't want to turn into ashes and be scattered into the Tussock River. Besides, I can't rush to report it. I just started gathering information, so how is it possible to receive any information from various channels so quickly? That fellow is really carrying a large sum of cash and jewelry, a whole suitcase worth of bills. The total value may exceed 50,000, bro. He is set to be a high sequence beyonder if he can get this suitcase of 50,000 pounds, man. Thoughts raced through Klein's mind and it took him a moment to calm down. He decided to wait another 2 days, then use the appropriate means to inform the Nighthawks in charge of this matter with the revelation he received. With the divination coming to an end, he returned to the real world, removed his double and sat down on the toilet. In the afternoon, Klein threw a coin where he was about to leave. The revelation he received was that it wasn't beneficial for him to head out. There will be danger if I head out. Klein didn't hesitate to return to his living room and sit down. After about 20 minutes, he heard the doorbell ring and saw that it was Isengard Stannon who had come to visit him. Mr. Stannon, any progress? Klein answered rather delightfully. Isengard pointed to the back of the hall. Let's talk inside. All right, Klein made way by stepping aside. After sitting on 2 sofas which faced each other, Isengard held his hunter's hat and took a deep breath. The Desire Apostle has appeared again. Seeing Klein maintaining his silence, he nodded in satisfaction and continued. The families of the 2 detectives refused protection, believing that they would have been implicated, so they remained outside. Today at lunchtime, they were found dead in their respective... Ooh, shit, we're picking them off one by one, huh? They were found dead in their respective offices. One was horrified that the dead from... Wait, what? One was so horrified that he died from fright. The other was too excited and he expanded the last of his energy. They were too stubborn, as expected of the believers of the tyrant, but as a result, the mandated punishers had formally involved themselves. It's so that the few churches in the military high sequence beyonders have cast their gazes over, and they've placed the matter of the Desire Apostle as one of the most important events in recent times. Are you hoping that I wouldn't reveal your identity as a believer of God of knowledge and wisdom? Klein asked, seemingly enlightened. It's easy to talk between detectives. Isengard smiled and nodded. No problem. Klein made the promise first, then he said, I have some information channels that are convenient to expose. If I get valuable information from them later, I hope that you can help me inform the Nighthawks and keep it confidential. As for why it's the Nighthawks instead of the machinery hive mind, he believed that he didn't need to be too clear about it. As I scroll down too much, with the intelligence of a great detective like Stanton, he could easily figure it out. Isengard first agreed to Klein's request, then said in puzzlement, by telling me it's the same as letting Jason notice it ahead of time. Let's hope we can think of ways of avoiding that. Also, please help me think about other possibilities. That ring of yours should be able to mimic several Beyonder powers, Klein calmly replied. Alright, Isengard didn't say anything further. He pondered for a few seconds and took out his pipe to take a whiff. The Desire's Apostle actions today have verified one of my guesses. It's also the question you thought previously. His main purpose isn't revenge. What? If it's not revenge, then what is it? Is it to, like, move up a seat? Well, I'm thinking out loud, but I assume it's just to, like, go from the plot the plot chickens. I assume his goal is to go from, like, sequence 5 to 4, right? Like, whatever's after Devil. His main purpose isn't revenge. Klein understood what Isengard was implying. Isengard leaned forward and solemnly said, since Jason has already been through the cold-blooded stage, it means that he's definitely cold-blooded. It's impossible that he would go so far for that devil. Sherlock, look, up until now, all the official Beyonders in Backland have been mobilized, and even the high... Dude, everybody is coming, bro. Everybody's showing up to Backland, bro. And even the high sequence Beyonders have shifted their attention to this matter. At this point, if Jason wants to deal with someone else, the true target wouldn't it be much easier? Klein thought over it for a moment and replied heavily, that makes sense. After a short exchange, Isengard went out to find Kozlana. After Klein tossed a coin, he went out as planned, heading for the Quilling Club. Neither of them had yet received their suspicions to the official Beyonders, fearing that it would end up directing harm to Jason, making him detect it and abandon his series of actions. As soon as he entered the Quilling Club, Klein met the surgeon, Aaron, in the lobby. A long time no see, he smiled and greeted him. I've been really busy recently. Aaron replied in a friendly manner, but he maintained his cold expression out of habit. Besides, my wife... Oh, shut the fuck up, dude. No, we're not doing this again. Besides, my wife recently got pregnant, and I'm going to be a father again. No. Congratulations. Congratulations. When did this happen? Oh, this is so bad. Klein, dude, I swear, if Aaron turns into the next Magoose, I'm a fucking end stream. Oh, no, dude. No, I'm sorry. I feel like this is Cuttlefish just trolling us. It's like, oh, you guys remember Volume 1, right? Not another one. This is Cuttlefish trying to, like, he's triggering his audience. Like, oh, you guys remember what happened in Volume 1? Congratulations. When did this happen? Klein asked casually. Aaron thought for a while and said, it was just confirmed she should be pregnant for more than a month. Okay, so we're good. Okay, it's not like a full-term baby. More than a month. Klein was startled. Oh, and then he looked into his eyes. No. No. Okay. All right, this baby is not a true. It's not a true creator baby. It's another baby. It's another deity baby. It can't be the true creator again. Pregnant lady trauma, bro. I'm triggered. This time it's not the true creator. Demon spawn. Shit, man. What has Aaron been tied to? The only thing that's been set up this volume has been the Antigonus family, right? No, I can't read that out loud, Cammy. You're gonna get me banned, bro. I can't say that. Okay, so hold up. What has been set up? What other deity besides the true creator? The Antigonus family. Wait, they also no. The Aurora Order is the true creator. So if it's not the true creator, the devil families. The Antigonus family is Mr. Door, devil worship deity, maybe. Yeah, it's either like a devil deity. Or like something tying back. Now we'll see, man. Let's just hold on. I'm thinking too long. Let's just keep reading. Let's see what happens, man. Let's just fucking keep going. Let me hold up. Let me do my fucking timestamp. Hold up. Too much is going on, bro. We gotta find out what's going on here. Winds arise. I'm liking this next chapter. All right, hold up. This music. Hold up. Let's just play it from up here. Let's just start from right here. You guys ready? Chapter 243 is called Winds Arise. Yes, a month or so ago, Klein is like, I don't know, man. I don't know. Yes, a month or so ago, Aaron nudged his gold-rimmed glasses and gave him a positive answer. A month or so ago. Isn't that when you were being troubled with Will? Oh, no. Oh, it's a monster deity. Oh, shut up. Hold up. Wait a minute. A month or so ago, isn't that when you were being troubled by Will Ossip 10 related nightmares? Ooh, it's not good. Klein was surprised and puzzled, but he didn't let his emotions show. In a blink of an eye, he thought of two divinations he had made. Will Ossip 10 was in a dark room. He's the baby. Shut the fuck up. The dark room is the damn woman's pregnant belly. Will Ossip 10 was in a dark room with the sounds of running water. Bro, that's him being a baby. Oh, so instead of a Magoose duck, the baby, now we're fucking around with snakes. We're fucking around with goose babies in volume 1. Now we're fucking around with snake babies. In a blink of an eye, he thought of two divinations he made. Will Ossip 10 was in a dark room with the sounds of running water outside. Was that symbolizing amniotic fluid or blood? Klein's heart chilled as he suddenly understood something. Dude, he's divining a freaking fetus. When he looked at Dr. Aaron again, he wore a rather complicated look in his eyes. He suspected that his wife was carrying Will Ossip 10, a snake of mercury, bro. What the fuck? Dude, what is this series, bro? What's with cuttlefish and like deity babies, man? This, I'm not liking this, bro. This is kind of scary. In the symbolism of mysticism, the snake of fate's head and tail are connected. What with it devouring its own tail. Oh, she's not gonna make it. The mom ain't gonna make it. It implies that the cycle of destiny in a hidden manner. In order to avoid his enemy, Will Ossip 10 took the initiative to secretly initiate a new cycle in advance. Klein guessed based on what he knew. Dr. Aaron didn't notice the abnormality he was trying hard to hide. He smiled and said, "He'll definitely be a cute guy. When he's born, I'll hold a party to celebrate his arrival. Sherlock, don't refuse my invitation when the time comes." Oh, Klein better go. "Perhaps it's a she," Klein replied with a smile. Frankly speaking, he was curious to see what kind of state the newly born Snake of Mercury was in. However, he was also a little afraid and worried. After all, the Snake of Mercury was a sequence one of the monster pathway related to fate, and it also involved the fight for the position of being a deity. No one could be sure whether the future would be smooth sailing with pieces of bliss. So we were under the assumption that the other Sequence 1 Snake of Mercury took him out, but he probably like implanted his memories or like subconsciousness into Aaron. So when he did the deed with his wife, he was able to be reborn. Dude, I can see why people are saying Monsters OP, bro. This is like a hack to immortality. And you can like hide yourself. However, he was a little afraid and worried. After all, Snake of Mercury was a sequence of the monster pathway related to fate, and it also involved the fight for the position of being a deity. No one could be sure whether the future would be smooth sailing with a peace and bliss. For Dr. N, I don't know if it was fortune or misfortune. This is so gross, bro. That's so weird. Whether I've never read anything like this before. My baby's an angel to a whole other level. Oh, that's scary, dude, man. I'm getting triggered just seeing a baby now after reading this series. Oh, man. However, he was a little afraid and worried. After all, the Snake of Mercury was a sequence one of the monster pathway related to fate, and it also involved the fight for the position of being a deity. No one could be sure whether the future would be smooth sailing with peace and bliss. For Dr. Aaron, I don't know if it was fortune or misfortune. Whether Will Ossipton is kind is one matter, but whether or not the other Snake of Mercury would discover him is another matter. And Will Ossipton has done anything as of now. Informing the Nighthawks now would seem a little cruel. I've always understood Wild Beyonders because he's one himself now. He relates. This is why children are so scary, man. They're scaring me now, dude. It's best to just quietly watch from the sides and not get involved, or perhaps taking advantage of the situation is the best choice. Oh my god, wait a minute. I'm gonna call it right now. There's allegedly 3 sequin ones, right? The third one is Adamisio. Watch Adamisio be like the big monster enemy down the road. Because we know Will Ossipton is being tracked down by another one in Backland. But who's the only other monster entity we know? In Tingan. Adamisio. But we know he was born with a half sequence trait. But I think it's a farce, bro. I think his pathway is so high, and Klein just became a Beyonder, right? He couldn't even detect it. Like, you know how, like, in Bleach, when Aizen looks at Ichigo like, you have no energy, you're so weak? But nah. Ichigo's, his aura was so high, Aizen couldn't even detect it. That's exactly what's happening with Adamisio. They think he's just some crazy dude born with, like, a half-sequence monster. Nah. Adamisio is acting. That's probably it. He's probably the third sequence one dude. And then he's gonna wait for the right moment? Oh, what is bro cooking? Bro, this is what I'm cooking. And then Adamisio is gonna wait until Will is born again? And oh, dude, cuttlefish, bro, don't do it. Yo, that'd be so fucked up, dude. Oh my god. Dude, I should be a writer. That's fucked up. Aizen didn't feel it because Ichigo. Yeah, no, that's exact. Thank you, Abby. That's what I mean. I couldn't remember. It's been like so long since I've watched Bleach. Bro, what is that cook? I don't know if we cooked or we burned something, but something definitely happened. I don't know. Wait, hold. I lost my place, man. Maybe I made a mistake. Oh, I lost my place. It's best to just quietly watch from the sidelines and not get too involved, or perhaps taking advantage of the situation is the best choice. Maybe I made a mistake in my interpretation and I'm overthinking things. Perhaps Will Ossipton isn't a Snake of Mercury at all. Perhaps the child of Miss Aaron is carrying is very normal. No. Many thoughts flash your client's mind. It's too much of a coincidence that happened at the same time. That's even better. Aaron said anticipation. After some thought, Klein asked another question. Have you heard any nightmares lately? Occasionally, but they were all normal nightmares. There are no longer any nightmares of Will Ossipton anymore. Sherlock, thank you for your guidance. Aaron said, you know what it's like, you guys remember in Endgame when War Machine's like, what if we just go back to Thanos and like, kind of like that. That's exactly what Adamisio is going to do into the situation. After some thought, Klein asked another question. I lost my place. That's even better. Aaron said anticipation. After some thought, Klein asked another question. Have you had any nightmares lately, occasionally, but they were all normal nightmares. They are no longer any nightmares of Will Ossipton anymore. Sherlock, thank you for your guidance, Aaron said earnestly. No, that makes it abnormal. As a keyboard warrior, my limited general knowledge of psychology tells me that occasionally dreaming of Will Ossipton would be a natural thing to do. It's a standard response from overstimulation. Since Will had caused you so much trouble and left such a deep impression on you, it would definitely be reflected in your dreams, and therefore the correct outcome would be to occasionally dream about Will Ossipton, but the dream wouldn't be too clear to the point of only knowing that something like that had happened without remembering the details. Klein was pretty sure. At that moment, he heard a rustling sound. He subconsciously looked outside the hall, only to see the darkness in the air being disturbed by a strong wind, and the thin, light yellow fog was swept away as a result. The leafless branches swayed back and forth, and the strong gust of wind left a clear trail towards the southwest. After a few seconds later, everything returned to normal. It's hard to see such a strong winds in Backland during the winter. At least I don't remember anything like it before, Aaron said as he looked out the window. That's not an ordinary wind. What happened? Klein suppressed his curiosity and made an excuse to go to the bathroom to perform a simple divination, but he failed to obtain any effective revelations. He temporarily put this matter to the back of his mind and prepared to head to the underground shooting range to practice his shooting. At that moment, a waiter wearing a red, I thought I read red glove. I was about to start fangirling over here. At that moment, a waiter wearing a red vest came through the warm hall and respectfully said, "Mr. Moriarty, your friend is here for you?" "Who?" Klein asked in surprise. "Mr. Eikenser Bernard," the red-vested attendant answered. "The decon who's often forced to perm his hair. Why is he suddenly looking for me?" As there been any new discoveries, Klein immediately walked to the reception hall of the club. Eikenser pressed on the hat, which had been pushed up by his fluffy hair, walked over and said with a lowered voice, "The mandated publishers have found Jason Patrick Brea." What a coincidence. How was he found? Klein asked, half surprised, half curious. According to his divination, Jason Brea had always been wearing human skin. His pure appearance and aura weren't what they had assumed they were. It was almost impossible for him to be found so easily. Eikenser surveyed the area and said, "I'm not sure, I just received the news." He pointed to a small white bird standing on the tree outside the door. The bird was leisurely cleaning its feathers with its beak. Before Klein could ask further, Eikenser gave a general account of what had happened. The mandated punishers found clues and confirmed Jason's location. However, the devil discovered the danger in advance and managed to kill the two mandated punishers and fled before they managed to close in on him. This infuriated the higher-ups of the Church of the Lord of Storms. As the spell singer of God, Ace Snake is currently personally in pursuit. You likely saw a gust of wind just now. It was caused by him. He's the... Oh... As such, spell singer of God, Ace Snake is brought up again, dude. Okay, this guy was pretty hyped up. He was the one that looked at Klein when he was in his Dark Emperor persona, right? What was it? The Emperor Bandit? What was it? Something Bandit. They need some demon hunters. I'm excited to read like a whole arc on just demon hunting, you know? Or like something with like just Derek going down in the trenches, like out in the City of Silver. Ace Snake is currently personally in pursuit. You likely saw a gust of wind just now. It was caused by him. He's the Archbishop of the Church of Lord of Storms of Backland Diocese, and he's also one of the cathedrals of the Church of Lord of Storms. You're telling me Alder's going to be like... Blade Bandit, thank you. You're telling me Alder's going to reach this level of hype and aura in the future. Like he's going to surpass Ace Snake, right? It sounds normal, but it also feels weird. According to my theory with Mr. Isengard, this can also be understood as a way for Jason, the Desire Apostle, to drive away high sequence beyonders. Klein asked after some deliberation, "Are you sure that the person discovered is Jason Brea?" Eikenser's expression instantly turned heavy as he replied with an odd tone. "I'll give it a try," he replied in a strange one. He motioned to Klein to follow him out and into a large carriage parked at the side of the street. There were two members of the machinery hive mind inside. Eikenser took a deep breath and took out the strange patterned silver mirror from a special pocket in his clothes. After doing the necessary steps, he gloomily said, Honorable Rhodes, my question is, where is Jason Patrick Brea's current location?" The surrounding lights suddenly wrapped as if they were lights of rain after seeing rapidly surface of the silver moon. I butchered that. Hero Bandit Black Emperor. Thank you, Romero. Got it. Sailor are quite cool at high sequences. He fell for it again. I've been, like, thank you, Richie. One would say I've been fooled. It was a riverboat with a sail raised. Shit, I skipped the line. But it's cool, it's cool. The surrounding lights suddenly wrapped as if there were lights after a rain. A scene rapidly surfaced on the silver moon. It was a riverboat with a sail raised. Jason Brea, with his high sequence, with his high cheekbones, blue eyes, with a gray tint and neatly combed hair, pressed down his cap, or propped up the collar of his coat and hurried into the cabin. He's really trying to escape Backland. We're gonna have another harbor fight. Harbor fights are like have been so far, or like any fight next to a massive water has been like some of the best fights so far in Lord of Mysteries. So I'm kind of hyped. It was a river boat. Well, I skipped a line. The surrounding lights suddenly warped. I read this. He's really trying to escape Backland. Spellsinger of God seems to be heading towards the dock area. A female machinery hive mind member said in realization. That's way too easy for him to be exposed, right? Klein was filled with doubt. It's a trap. Eikenser wasn't concerned with any of this. All his attention was placed on the silver mirror surface. This time there was only one choice of answering. Answering as wrongly or lying meant suffering a terrifying penalty. Soon, words in blood red appeared on the mirror. If the man you like is covered with lumps, has his skin shed, reducing him only flesh and blood, or has become a monster but it's still able to communicate with him, will you still like him? What a shameful question. Wait, a man? Klein almost turned his head to look at Eikenser. Eikenser slowly breathed out and said, I will, but I will kill him with my own hands. Very honest, a new combination of words appeared on the surface of the silver mirror. The question and answer game is simply a public hearing. Klein really wanted to cover his face. He looked at the other two machinery hive mind members and saw no abnormalities from them, or perhaps it should be said that they were pretending to not have any abnormal expressions. He hesitantly said, I keep feeling that all of this has been too easy. Perhaps it's not the real Jason Brea. What? But Jason Brea was directed at him. Eikenser was planning to put away his silver mirror. Klein thought for a few seconds and said after organizing words, no, what I truly mean is that we have to abandon any ingrained judgments. What we are looking for is the desired apostle, not Jason Brea. Oh, the two might not necessarily be the same individual. Like, for all we know, there might be a real Jason Brea out there that the desired apostle is mimicking. Oh, so for all we know, we're probably tracking like a real innocent Jason Brea that's like trying to escape Backland because all this crazy shit is happening to him. And the Desire Apostle is setting him up as the bait. The two might not necessarily be the same. This is the point that I have mentioned as a detective. On King's Avenue, a luxurious carriage left the Kingdom Parliament. The carpeted carriage was furnished with beds, sofa, tables, and other furniture like a mobile room. Duke Palams Negan, who was dressed in a dark blue Admiral's uniform, was drinking a polished crystal glass of red wine that resembled the crimson blood. As he sampled the wine, he said thoughtfully, invite Earl Hall to be my guest tomorrow. I would like to discuss with him about increasing the remuneration of the factory workers and improving their working hours, as well as amending the poor law. These are bills he had been pushed hard for recently. He should be very interested. Why will the Church of Evernight Goddess suddenly be concerned over such matters? When sending the invitation, you can first inform Earl Hall about the topics I wish to discuss. The property restrictions for the elections are necessary and cannot be lowered. Otherwise, those who are in control of a large number of workers will take up more seats. Also suppress the recent attack of the invalid voting districts. The secrets at the side quickly scribbled down Duke Negan's order. After he was done, Duke Negan sighed and said, the reason I'm doing this is also for the sake of nobles. However, there are more and more useless fellows among us, and there's even quite a number of them who owe money to the tycoons. At that moment, the carriage didn't turn towards Emperor's Borough but went straight ahead. As the greatest property-owning noble apart from the king, Duke Negan had many mistresses, but in the relatively conservative Lowen Kingdom, this was something which would have left him vulnerable to his political enemies. Therefore, even as a noble duke, he still had to sneak around when he went to his mistress's place, but this seemed to only give him more pleasure. Today, he was planning to go to his most beloved mistress of the past 2 to 3 years, a young girl who had just turned 20. Duke Negan took out a bottle of medicine made of mummy powder and drank mummy powder? That was an ingredient in the past, right? Duke Negan is the same guy Quillingus tried to kill. No, I remember. Wasn't. Oh yeah, you're right. Duke Negan. Yeah. My bad. I for some reason I was thinking he was going after Audrey's dad, but no. It was Duke Negan. Yeah, it was Duke Negan. Yeah. Never mind. It was Duke Negan. Duke Negan took out a bottle of medicine made of mummy powder and drank it. He couldn't help but touch the accessory hanging from his neck. It was a dark, blum, thud-sized conch. It was a mystical item that the Church of the Lords of Storms has specifically provided after his last assassination attempt by Quillingus. As long as Duke Negan blew on it, the Holy Winds Cathedral spellsinger of God Ace Snake would hear it and lock onto his position. Is this what he originally used back in season 1? Mummy powder is basically Viagra. God, they have some trippy ass Viagra, bro, in this series. You just drink mummy powder? In order to protect himself, Duke Negan even moved the residences of his mistresses to areas near the Holy Wind Cathedral. The carriage slowly moved until it reached an extremely luxurious building. At a glance, there was a glass greenhouse filled with bright red roses. Oh, shit. Duke Negan is about to get killed by him? Her? Oh, that is not good. It's powder, bro. He's about to... Oh, he got the item. I'm sorry. I completely misread that. Oh, yeah, right. It was a... It says right here. It was a mystical item that the Church of Lords of Storms has specifically provided after his last assassination attempt by Quillingus. Okay, so we're ending this volume, or like roughly, with another assassination. And some crazy spawn deity might descend, might not descend. All right, this is kind of hype. So Duke Negan is literally walking into his own death trap. They really want that. They really want him dead. All right, let's keep reading, dude. This is getting good. It's getting fucking good. All right, let me do my timestamp. Let me do my timestamp. Also, I think I'm gonna just delete some of my old videos. I mean, they're all on YouTube, so I think we're good. And they're up on 1080p, so I can probably just re-download them. Yes, I think I'll be fine. I can just re-download the videos in the future, and it'll be like lower memory. I can just re-download them in like 1080p or whatever. Bro is making gourmet food. D, what is bro cooking? Adamiso the bum. Oh my god, let him cook. Sanji level cooking? I was just reading some of your guys' messages. I missed that one. Sanji level cooking. Speaking of Sanji, I need to catch up with fucking One Piece, man. I'm like months behind, man. Shit. I'm gonna probably read that on my own time. I wanted to read it on stream and uploaded it, but no. Any guess who's trying to kill Duke Negan? I think I know who it is. Hold up. Wait, thank you for bringing that up, Romero. I think I know who's trying to kill... Duke Negan. The same dude that assassinated Bakerland. Well, remember, first Bakerland was gonna, you know, do the deed with, what was her called, Eileen? And then it turned out to be a shepherd, right? I think this devil apostle is just that shepherd in disguise. Yes, the Aurora Order, thank you. Yeah, and not only that, I remember the book now. I remember, like, do you remember when the book was mentioned? That shepherd, wait, I don't know if I should read the plot twist yet. That shepherd used that mystical book, like whatever I write. I came, I saw, I recorded or whatever. I think it's the same dude that killed the Mr. Ambassador. So he's gonna kill an Intis ambassador, and he probably wants to kill another political figure in Backland, aka Duke Negan. Whatever's the Aurora Order's ultimatum, I don't know. Wait, no. They want the true creator to descend, correct? So they probably want to take out all these higher ups, especially because Duke Negan is in charge of the Pollution Act, right? And if that can happen, then like it'll be a better way of living for East Borough, and then he won't descend. We'll see what happens. I don't know. Devil over Quillingus? Yes. As of right now, well, hold up. Quillingus was really hyped up, but for me, he was hyped up because he was using Creeping Hunger, which was a shepherd ability. So far, my most interesting villain in this series has been the freaking shepherds. Anything shepherd related has been so hype and like OP. I don't know what's gonna happen when like high deity fights, but yeah, it's pretty hype. It's pretty hype. All right, let's keep going, dude. Let's fucking keep going. Shit, let me edit my timestamp. Oh look, exactly 47 minutes. All right, chapter 424. Bet. Damn. Okay, hold up. You guys can tell me, how close am I to the end of this volume? I think I'm like 60 chapters, maybe. All right, just got out the shower. What chapter are we on? What did I miss? Mysterious Fool? I'm up to date. 424. He killed the ambassador because Audrey. Well, I know Audrey, like, hey, like, would you kill him, right? But the Aurora Order has her own ultimatum to make him come back. 250 is not the end unhinged. No, I remember that. About 60? Okay. All right. Ooh, okay, okay. All right. We can probably read like 20 chapters by Friday. 20 chapters Saturday, 20 chapters Sunday. Finishing within the week. We are finishing within the week. That is a guarantee. Yes. Okay. Shit, I'm gonna have to delete my old videos and only keep like the volume 1 finale reaction, and then only keep a few from volume 2. Like I'm gonna go through my VODs and only keep like the good ones, because everything's up on YouTube, so I can clear space. Yeah, because fuck, man, SSDs are expensive, man. I was looking at them like a 4 terabyte. I was like, ooh, it was like a couple hundred. I was like, fuck. It's like, hold up, like I can't spend that right now. It's like I'm trying to secure the Switch 2 pre-order first. Let's keep reading. Chapter 424 is called The Problem of Change. Yeah, no, I have some of those. Damn, that's gonna be crazy. Shit, it's gonna be sick. Keep the trailer. Yeah, no, I have like I'm gonna keep the short ones. Yeah. 20 is a lot, bro. Okay, maybe not 20. Maybe not 20. Maybe we technically read like 20. You know what? I think I'm gonna be sick on Thursday when Switch pre-orders come out. So if I can secure that Switch pre-order a little early, I might not be sick enough to go live after, you know. So no, you know, I think we're gonna be sick on Thursday. We're gonna take work off. You know, I'm gonna be a little sick, but here we go. 5 12 chapter reads, but 5 12. So that's like about a week. Within the week, we'll make up for those chapters we miss on the weekend for sure. All right, but let's keep reading. All right, let's continue from right here again. Chapter 424 is called The Problem of Change. Inside the carriage outside the Quilling Club, the desired apostle might not necessarily be Jason Brea. You believe that we might have been misled. Iconster didn't scoff, show contempt, or think lightly of what Klein had said. Instead, he began to seriously discuss the problem with him. Not a bad decon, however, it could also be due to him frequently using the magic mirror name erodes. No matter how bad his temper is, it would easily eventually be worn out. Klein praised silently and nodded sincerely. This is my personal opinion derived from a cautious standpoint. It's very easy to prove it again. Ask the mirror magic of Desire Apostle's location and not of Jason Brea's location. Ah, it's going to be a different answer. Iconster pressed on his hat and said, makes sense. His expression turned serious once again, and his gaze landed on the magic mirror on his palm. Decon Iconster, if you were to ask for any clues here, the devil will definitely be able to detect it. Klein reminded them. That's right. Iconster turned his head to the other two members and said, continue protecting Mr. Moriarty in secret. Even Desire Apostle attacks. The three of you should be able to last for some time. Besides, there's military personnel nearby. Yes, Decon. The two Machinery Hive Mind members answered without hesitation. Iconster left at once, heading for where the Nighthawks were, which was around Isengard Stanton. Ooh, he is being a true detective, and we love to see it. I'm more excited to see what he's going to be in Volume 3. I feel like he might not be a detective again if he goes faceless, and then like the Nighthawks find out who he is, because then he has to go in hiding all over again. Because then I feel like Ince would be able to detect that through the quill, like, oh, like why did he come back? So maybe he'd go faceless and become a new dude. Like maybe he'd become a new lawyer, you know, and surpass Jurgen. Or we'll see. With the spell singer of God stirred and the sealed artifact of the Church of God's Church out in force, if the Desire Apostle were to really do anything, it would definitely be this afternoon. Let's hope that there's enough time for the magic mirror will give him the correct answer, but this time I won't have a chance to get involved, and I won't be able to personally see the devil that has harmed all of us die. And I won't have access to his suitcase full of money, gold bars, gold coins, and jewelry. Klein locked onto Iconster's, departing back inside in his disappointment. However, his mood soon recovered. That's good to know. At the very least, I won't have to take any risks and be able to safely get out of this predicament. Furthermore, the Machinery Hive Mind definitely won't treat me unfairly. If I were to succeed, my opinions and suggestions definitely would have played an important role. Furthermore, I'm a believer of the god of steam and machinery, so it's likely I'll receive some spoils, considering the premise of 50,000 pounds, and shouldn't be too small. Klein couldn't help but feel a bit regretful as he thought of this, but he wouldn't risk himself getting involved. A magician never performs unprepared. It happens too quickly and hastily without giving me any time to plan. Klein nodded at the two Machinery Hive Mind members, got out of the carriage, and returned to the Quillen Club, where he had no trouble getting the attendant to allocate him a break room. Hilston Burrow in Isengard Stanton's living room. Leonard Mitchell combed some of his slightly unruly black hair in accordance with Captain Soist's instructions and the help of the other Nighthawks. He barely managed to put on the silver armor, which was stained with large amounts of blood. Why is he wearing? Damn. Easy predicted the clan will be a lawyer in Volume 3. Clip it. He's gonna go through all the rankings, which was stained with large amounts of blood. He pulled down his visor and hid his green eyes in the darkness. Then he extended his left hand, which was covered with a silver metal gauntlet, and held the magic mirror in Ikenser's handed him. Within the Church of Goddess Machinery, the code name of the silver mirror was 2111. It's only a grade 2 sealed artifact. Zoist asked, slightly surprised. Ikenser nodded. Yes, it's not that dangerous. As he said that, he suddenly sounded like he was gritting his teeth. That is to say that it's other aspects that have reached the standards of grade 1 sealed artifact. Zoist asked in thought. Ikenser wordily glanced at him. Only in certain aspects. He refused to divulge any more information. At this moment, Leonard used his right hand to gently stroke the surface of the silver mirror. The living room suddenly became quiet. After repeating it 3 times, he said in a deep voice, Honorable Rhodes, my question is, where is the current location of the Desire Apostle who assaulted Isengard Stanton? The entire room turned dark as though a dark cloud had passed by. The surface of the silver mirror... This is also... Okay, hold up. No, just skip reading. The surface of the silver mirror glowed with an aqueous light, and a blurry image quickly formed. It was a luxurious villa with a large garden in front of the window. In the center of the garden, there was a glass greenhouse with bright red roses blooming inside. Ooh, red flowers. That's not good. Above the glass greenhouse, the pale sun could still be seen behind the thin fog. That's exactly where Duke Negan is going, bro. That's exactly where he's going. He's literally walking into his own... Ayo, yo, mic up, bro, wait. How far back did bro's mic explode? No, we're good. Wait, what was the last thing I said? What was the last thing I read? Nah, I know it wasn't 30 minutes. I just lowered it right now. That's crazy. I barely lowered it. Test. That's so freaking weird. Test. 2 3 1 2 3 1 2. 1. The glass window with roses. Thank you. So I have to lower this part down here. I'm trying to get like a good audio balance. Test. I'm gonna lower it just a little bit. Test. 1 2 3. 1 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. Ah! Jump scare. 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. I think this is good. The glass window with roses. Thank you. Okay, I think we're good right here. You also turned chat off. I know chat isn't off. No, it was only my mic. It's only this mic that I adjusted. My bad. All right, we're good. All right, we look good from right here. Okay. So we're right here. In the center of the garden, there was a glass greenhouse with bright red roses blooming inside. Above the glass greenhouse, the pale sun could still be seen behind the thin fog. It's in Backland. Isengard Stanton immediately derived the location of the scene based on the angle of the view and the position of the sun in the sky. This is completely different from the answer when he asked Jason Bria, "We've been tricked," Ikenser said in a deep voice. Solitaire Hoist exhaled and said, "How crafty. Then who is the Jason Bria the spell singer of God is chasing?" Saya, there's no time for discussion. We need to narrow down the general location of the presented scene. Then we'll immediately take action. I expect the Desire Apostle is planning to cause a huge incident. At this point, the silver mirror known as a Rhodes had dissipated the scene, replacing it with words. It required Leonard Mitchell to answer the question. As if he lied or refused to answer, he would be severely punished. For some baffling reason, Leonard felt a little nervous. He put away his usual frivolous attitude and quietly waited for the question. A few scenes later, he saw the blood-red words taking shape one by one. On your... Oh my god, wait! Huge tunnel vision! Is Leonard with the same dude that walked up earlier to Klein? Yes, right? A few seconds later, he saw the blood-red words change, taking shape on one by one. On your body, Oh wait, what the fuck? It's talking about yes with a question mark. Yeah, yes, yeah, they're talking to the same fucking dude. So they've both interacted. Oh my god, why didn't this fucking click earlier? They're both interacting with the same fucking dude. Oh my god. And you know what's crazy? Klein isn't gonna notice him because he's wearing the fucking armor. And then he's not gonna notice him because Klein looks like a Chad now. He's like more built, he's more buff, he has a beard. Oh, they're not even gonna notice each other. Face slap. Oh my god. He doesn't even need to be a faceless to conceal his face. And then, like, it's over here talking about his parasite. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be wild. It's gonna be sick. It's gonna be so beautiful. They're gonna interact with each other, and then watch one of them say, like, ah, you remind me of a dear friend. Oh, dude, I'm gonna cry like a little bitch. On your body, is there something attached? Halfway through the question, Leonard Peoples. Oh, I'm getting too attached. Hold up, I gotta chill. The best link up without a link. I gotta chill. Hold up. I'm getting a little too attached. I'm getting too excited. Halfway through the question, Lenard's pupils rapidly contracted. His back tensed up and a cold sweat broke out on his forehead. If it wasn't for him being concealed by the bloodstained silver armor, the others would have already noticed his abnormality. Right at this moment, his left palm inexplicably trembled. The silver magic mirror suddenly trembled, and the scarlet words were strangely tainted with a tint of green. If one didn't keep staring at the mirror with the rapt attention, it would have been difficult for others to discover the color of the mirror had slightly changed. The words continue warping, changing the question of, on your body there's a scar which you cannot tell others. Yes, that scar resides in my memory? What? On your body, is there a scar which you cannot tell others? Yes, that scar resides in my memory. Leonard answered stably, but his body inside the bloodstained silver armor felt a sense of exhaustion from suddenly relaxing a high tension. The mirror is too dangerous. It actually noticed it. Thankfully, old man has recovered a bit after such a long time. He thought his lips were dry. Sois took out his pocket watch, pressed it open, and took a look, and said to Leonard, who was inside the bloodstained silver armor, "There's still time. You'll be in charge of the rest of the operation." "Yes, Captain Sois." Leonard let out a secret sigh. Dock area, Backland Shipyard. Patrick Jason Bria entered a cabin he had reserved in advance. He looked out the window and observed the sky filled with fog as he silently counted the time. After a while, he quickly took off his hat and clothes. Then, with a tug of his hand, he pulled off the outer layer of human skin. Under the human skin was a beautiful woman in her early 30s. Let me reread that. Yeah, he was going to ask him about the parasite. Then the parasite interfered with the mirror. And then that's why he asked about the other question, right? Wait, hold up. Let me reread this. This shit sounds gross. After a while, he quickly took off his hat and clothes. Then, with a tug of his hand, he pulled off the outer layer of human skin. He quickly took off his hat and clothes. Then, with a tug on his hand, he pulled off the outer layer of human skin. Under the human skin, so the human skin in his... Under the human skin was a beautiful woman in her early 30s with a profound look in her eyes. What the fuck am I reading? Under the human skin was a beautiful woman in her early 30s with a profound look in her eyes. She wasn't a man with brown hair and brown eyes whom Klein had seen during the dream divination. The woman took out some clothes and put them on methodically, quickly becoming an absolutely charming woman. Bro, what the fuck is this, bro? What is up with... Dude, Desire Apostles are freaking crazy. Finally, she pulled out a fist-sized stone figurine from the bottom of a suitcase and wrapped it tightly. So this isn't... There's two Desired Apostles pretending to be Jason. And wrapped it tightly. So it's another family member. It's the plot chickens. And wrapped it tightly with a peeled off skin before tying a dead knot. Having done all this, the riverboat was already some distance away. She opened the window and threw Patrick Jason's skin along with the stone figurine into the river. So Patrick is gone. That was just another... Okay. That was just another human skin. Plop. The human skin that was tied to the heavy object quickly sank. The woman clapped her hands and closed the window. Carrying the suitcase, she changed to a different cabin she had prepared. Then she sat down in the window of the new cabin, propped up her elbows, her face in her hands, and looked out leisurely. After an unknown period of time, he saw a strong gust of wind blowing in the air, dispersing the thin fog. The corners of her lips curled up into a brilliant smile. In a luxurious villa not far away from the Holy Wind Cathedral in Sherwood Borough, the bloated, blue-eyed Palas Negan bear hugged his approaching mistress, a beautiful young girl with a bit of an innocence on her face. I'm sorry, is this Duke? No. Blue-eyed Palas. Oh, Duke Negan's first name is Palas? Because I know Duke is a title. Palas Negan. A beautiful young girl with a bit of innocence on her face. Oh, this is another apostle. There were two people following him. One of them was a middle-aged man wearing a black tailcoat. He had brown hair and blue eyes, but he didn't wear an expression. Nah, it's the one after him is the mistress. He was a Beyonder guard provided by the Church Lords of Storms, a Sequence 6 Wind Blessed. The other person was Duke Negan's secretary. Oh, the one that originally protected him against Quellingus, his secretary. He was a thin, blonde young man with delicate features, looking refined and reserved. His biggest flaw was a receding hairline, which didn't match his age. As for the other guards or security personnel, they would spread out on the other sides of the house. On the second floor, the Wind Blessed entered the bedroom before Duke Negan for a quick inspection. Meanwhile, Duke Negan secretly was in charge of searching the surrounding rooms. After confirming that there was no problem, he nodded at Duke Negan, indicating that he could continue. My aroused up feelings have almost calmed down, Duke Negan said half-jokingly. His mistress happily responded, then we can have a nice chat. I like to hear about your time at sea. I hope you'll eventually have the energy to do so. Duke Negan carried the mistress into the bedroom and closed the door with him in his heels. This almost sounds like the setup with Bakerland and the Shepherd. His secretary and the Wind Blessed enter the rooms on either side of him, not relaxing in the slightest. In the attic of the house, a man in a dark overcoat sat in an old chair, his eyes half closed. It was unknown what he was trying to sense, but he would occasionally smile and shake his head. His brown hair was slightly curled, and his brown eyes were cold. It was the same person that Klein had seen in the dream divination. The difference was that there was one fewer suitcase by his feet. So this is the assassination attempt. Oh, you're heading out using him? Thank you for tuning in for a bit. How vigorous and what intense desire. This doesn't match my judgment of him. It looks like he took some medicine. That just works so well for me. Heh. How could they possibly imagine that Patrick Jason Bria is actually two people? The man tilted his face up slightly as if he was intoxicated. It's almost time right now. His right hand suddenly clenched as they were tightly clutching someone's heart. Ooh. Yeah, it's going to be good. Oh, it's going to be good. It's going to be a good fight. Oh, and this chapter's called Under the Roses. Bet. I want to see what happens now. Let's keep reading. Hold up. Let's fucking keep reading. Let's fucking keep reading. Bop. Bop. Let me do my timestamp. 1 hour. 1 minute. 41 seconds. Oh, it's going to be good. It's going to be good. It's going to be a good chapter. It's going to be a good fight. It's going to be a good fight. I can feel it. I can fucking feel it. It's going to be a good fucking fight. All right, let's keep going. All right, next chapter. Before I do that, I got to update this part. All right, next chapter. Under the roses, beyond the window, the glass greenhouse reflected the pale light of the sun, and the bright roses stood out even in the thin fog. Music fight? Yeah, we should put music fight now, right? You know what? In the meantime, let me put this. We're gonna, before we do music fight, we need to ramp up to the music fight. So let's play. Let's play this one. Let's play Shadow Lord. If I can find it. We got set up. Someone prepared to clip so that we have some out of context. What? Let's play this one. Let's play this one for now. We'll see how we're feeling. Let's play for this one and we'll see if we change it. Chapter 425 is called Under the Roses. Let me turn down a bit. Beyond the window, the glass's greenhouse reflected the pale light of the sun, and the bright roses stood out even in the thin fog. In the bedroom, Duke Negan seemed to have recovered the feeling of following his father and elders around the vast lands when he was young, riding a horse, using a hound, and chasing a wild beast. Finally, In the bedroom, Duke Negan seemed to have recovered the feeling of following his father and elders around the vast lands when he was young, riding a horse, using a hound, and chasing a wild beast. Finally, he climaxed at the surroundings seemed to become abnormally quiet. At this moment, his mind suddenly buzzed off. He felt as if the pleasure and comfort he was feeling had suddenly exploded one after another. I'm sorry. Is he doing the deed? It continued exploding without end or limit again and again. Duke Negan's waist kept shaking and his eyes were blank, his brain having lost in train of thought. His heart began to beat violently and in an unbearable manner, like a steam boiler whose pressure had gone beyond its limits. Damn, man, that mummy powder really came in handy, huh? It could blow up at any time, and hot steam could gush out at any moment. If it were an ordinary person or a beyonder who wasn't physically strong, they would have suffered a heart attack, a massive cerebral hemorrhage, and die on the spot. But Duke Negan ultimately managed to ride through the attack, only his eyes were unfocused and the saliva was flowing out from the corner of his mouth before he weakly slumped onto his mistress. The wind blessed and the Duke's secretary, who were on guard on both sides of the room, simultaneously sensed the strange and mysterious smell of spirituality. The former's body was suddenly surrounded by a violent wind, sweeping him towards the wall, and with a clang, a large hole was blown through the wall as he stepped into the bedroom. The secretary went straight to the source of the mystery, the attic of the house. Along the way, he didn't evade or dodge, but the decorative vases and the other objects in the corridor seemed to have found lives of their own and avoided him in ingenious ways. As he ran up the stairs to the attic, the wooden floorboard seemed to rise as it was giving him a hand. In just 3 or 4 seconds, the refined, handsome, blonde young man entered the attic and saw a figure sitting on an old chair. The figure was covered in a thick black liquid, just like the gathering of all the ugly desires and intense feelings in the depths of a human heart. It was a greed of will to sell and hang oneself by the ropes, the hunger that would even spare one's own kind, and a lust without limits. This was a devil walking to earth. The skinny secretary expression didn't change, nor did he attack directly. Instead, he looked at the other party member, reached behind him, and politely closed the door. Bam! The wooden door of the attic was closed. The entire room... He just closed the door on him? Is that what just happened? The wooden door of the attic was closed. The entire room suddenly felt like it had been completely sealed, as if one could never leave the room unless the effort was put in to crack the seal. At this moment, the concept of closing the door and sealing the room seemed to have been changed to seal this place, isolate the outside from the inside. The Desire Possum moved. His body expanded and grew a pair of huge bat wings that emanated... The Desire Possum moved. His body expanded and grew a pair of huge bat wings that emitted light blue tongues of flame. One by one, fireballs that exuded a strong sulfurous smell were formed, and bombarded Duke Negan's blonde secretary. The secretary reached out with his white glove left hand and clenched it while half turning his wrist. Boom. I need to play wall closing in. Hold up. We're playing wall closing in. We got to play wall closing in. We need to play wall closing in. Walls closing in. Walls closing in. Where's this sucker? Let's fucking go. What? Why isn't it popping up? Bet. We're playing wall closing in. This shit's ramping up. It's ramping up. It's ramping up. It's ramping up. Alright, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Are you guys ready? Let's keep reading. The fireball stopped following the principle of a straight or oh my, and I can't read it as I'm playing battle music. The principle of straight or parabolic paths as they scattered in every direction in a sudden outburst of chaos. Like the irregular movement of tiny particles suggested by a botanist, some of them hit the wall, some hit the ceiling, some fell beside the weak-looking secretary, and some fell backwards, almost wounding the Desire Apostle himself. The entire attic was a mess, and as I'm saying this, I have all my stuff updated, right? Yes, we're good. We're updated. Sorry. You guys can't hear it, right? Okay. I'm gonna turn the music down a little bit more. I don't want it to be too loud. Hold up. I'm gonna turn it down as little as I can, but just enough for you guys to hear. I think right there is good. I'm gonna lower it a bit, so I think this is good right here. I found my place. Shit, I lost my place. Okay, I found my place. The fireball stopped following the principle of a straight parabolic paths as they scattered in every direction in a sudden outburst of chaos. Like those irregular movements of tiny particles suggested by a botanist, some of them hit the wall, some hit the ceiling, some fell beside the weak-looking secretary, and some fell backwards, almost wounding the Desire Apostle himself. The entire attic was a mess, with traces of destruction and char everywhere, and the house even shook a few times. However, the mysterious power was sealed in here, or the rules that had been tampered with had yet to be destroyed. The surrounding walls, the old wooden door, and the dusty roof appeared to be on the verge of collapsing, but it remained intact. The Desire Apostle wasn't frustrated by the failure of his previous attempt, nor was he flustered that he couldn't control his enemy or catalyze him into a frenzy. Due to his calmness and restrained desires, his coffee brown eyes suddenly lit up like larvae as he took the form of the blonde secretary. He spat out a word in the devil There's a devil language? One filled with foulness and filth. Die. Almost at the same time, the pupils under the secretary's golden-rimmed glasses constricted. He opened his left fist and aimed the Desire Apostle with the palm of his hand. Suddenly, his figure split into two. One was refined and skinny like an actual self. The other was a shadow covered by a black liquid of desire. This is what was covering him when we first saw him, right? The two quickly alternated, overlapping with each other at times. Die. The words said in the language of the foulness echoed in the... Oh, that's what Climb's charm was called, the language of foulness charm. Oh, because there was an actual language called foulness. The devil language. Okay. That's cool. Look at that. I never noticed that. The words said in the language of foulness echoed in the attic as he secretly let out a low grunt and took 2 steps back. Following that, the split silhouettes dissipated and large swabs of rusted red marks appeared on his face as though he had turned into a man of iron that had been left in a humid area for years. Cough, cough, cough. He coughed violently, spitting out blobs of rusted blood that had congealated into clumps. The marks on his body began to slowly peel off. Cough. The Desire Apostle was also coughing out blood that had clumped and turned to rust. The vicious black liquid covering his entire body suddenly became much thinner. The language of foulness seemed to have half of its effects transferred to him by Duke Negan's secretary. Damn. In the bedroom. Wait, hold up. Let me put this right here. Beautiful. In the bedroom, the Wind Blessed helped Duke Negan up and kicked up the beautiful mistress to the other side in the case she was an accomplice of the assailant. Really? The reason why okay, at least he's not letting his guard down. The reason why he didn't help the secretary was because he knew that he only had one responsibility, to protect Duke Negan, and in similar situations would have to be wary of more than one enemy. At this point, Duke Negan had somewhat recovered a little. He was rather strong, but his limbs still felt weak. His body felt empty and his mind was sluggish. He was completely unable to use his beyonder powers. He motioned to the Wind Blessed to remove the conch necklace from his neck, brought the items to his lips. Duke Negan took a breath and blew into the small conch, which was covered in strange patterns. Splash. Not really Climb's charm, was just the ravings of the true creator, while the language of the foulness is an ability of the devil beyonders. But I remember it had the same name, right? The language of foulness is an ability of the... Oh, it's an ability of the devil beyonders. Got it. Thank you, Romero. Splash. The low and deep sound of the tide was heard as it rushed towards the Holy Wind Cathedral. With his grace's speed, he should be able to arrive very soon. The Wind Blessed first resurrected him, and then with Duke Negan on his back, he went to the window and leaped down. He wanted to meet up with Duke's guards outside. There were only 2 or 3 low sequence beyonders among them. Duke Negan gasped for breath and said, "Catch him, make sure to catch him alive or the wind spirit. I want to know who it is. He had suffered an assassination attempt from the pirate Admiral Quillingus the last time, and now it was an unknown Sequence 5 expert. Duke Negan, very aware that he hadn't developed any irredeemable grudges with anyone recently. As such, he was especially angry and resentful. He wanted to find the mastermind and use all the resources at his disposal to tear the mastermind apart. The premise of all this was that he could find clues from the assassination. 7 or 8 seconds later, most of Duke Negan's guards searched for surrounding Palas, Negan, and the Wind Blessed in the middle as they gathered in front of the garden. Wait here and be on guard against the enemy. The Wind Blessed gave the order. Under normal circumstances, he had to protect Duke and evacuate from the assassination grounds as quickly as possible and rush to the safety of the Holy Wind Cathedral. However, he wasn't sure if there were any other enemies, and he was afraid of being ambushed en route. He was afraid of missing the reinforcements from Spellsinger of God A Snake and ended up being placed in a more perilous situation. On second thought, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, time kept flowing by the house shook from time to time, and the battle inside seemed to have reached its climax. Why is the Archbishop not here yet? The panting Duke Negan asked in a slightly panicked voice. Which the Archbishop's flying speed, he should have arrived very quickly. However, there weren't any signs of the thin fog being scattered in the direction of the Holy Wind Cathedral. On high alert, the Wind Blessed hesitantly said, perhaps the Archbishop. He eventually failed to mention the possibility that the Archbishop was in the Holy Wind Cathedral. At that moment, the beautiful mistress of Duke Negan came to the window of the bedroom on the second floor, her eyes filled with a lost and beautiful smile. Then she jumped down deliberately, hitting her head on the concrete floor. Bam. After producing a jarring sound, there was quite a few cracks on her beautiful head, and blood began to flow out. She rolled a few times weakly until she was facing up. Her eyes had lost all focus, and her frozen expression was one of madness? One of madness and fear. Seeing this scene, many members of Duke's guards couldn't help but feel horrified. Even Duke Negan himself felt that his emotions were on the verge of collapse when Archbishop Snake didn't revive. Let's go. Let's get out of here. He weakly called out in an instant. Just as the Wind Blessed was rejoiced over not being soft-hearted when kicking the misters away, otherwise the Duke would have been killed on the spot, he heard a command filled with horror. His heart suddenly skipped a beat. Inside the attic, the Desire Apostle, who was in the middle of a fierce battle, suddenly liquefied and turned into a countless black shadows, jumping up and down on the guard. After dodging the blonde secretary's attacks, he rematerialized in another direction. What? Then he looked at the enemy, raised his right hand, and slightly curled the corners of his mouth. No. The blonde secretary's eyes reddened. All of a sudden, the Desire Apostle clenched his fist. Is he going to kill him? The charm was stronger, just the name. Well, the name alone, right? It's just the name that was brought up. Okay, got it. No, the blonde secretary eyes reddened. All of a sudden, the Desire Apostle clenched his fist. Outside the luxurious house, Duke Negan's horror erupted. It shot straight to his brain and into his veins, blanked all his nerves. Oh, it's over. It's over, dude. He heard the sound of something shattering and felt a warm sensation in the back of his head. At the same time, several members of Duke's guards became flustered and panicked. They all raised their custom revolvers or rifles in their hands and started shooting randomly towards the center. Bang, bang, bang. The Wind Blessed was the first to reach out and grab Duke Negan. He rolled to the ground, and a formless wind as sharp as knives appeared out of thin air, slicing through the throats of the guards. Splat. The guards clutched at their throats, slowly falling to the ground in a pool of fresh blood. Duke Negan's body twitched a few times, but then it stopped moving. Oh, he's been killed. He was robbed of his life by his own horror. If he hadn't been a Sequence 6 Beyonder, then his horror might have even dismembered him. Of course, if he hadn't become extremely weak, then he would have possessed such an intense emotions. And even if he had these emotions, then he would have directly died as a result of this. But there were no ifs in this world. Palin Negus, the leader of the Conservative Party, the noble with the largest land apart from the king and the elder brother of the current prime minister, a Sequence 6 Beyonder, and a truly important figure, was dead. He died of fear. Well, I mean, we learned that the devils use one's emotions for their own benefits, right? So this was like a higher, like, ability of that, right? But like, this is so wild. I've never read anything like this, bro. Like, this is so new to me. This shit is so wild, bro. The roses. What did I say about the red roses? Did I not? I think I was muted at that point, but I was like, look at that. The red roses foreshadowed his death. The red roses in the nearby glass greenhouse were still in full bloom. In the attic, the blonde secretary seemed to sense something and could no longer control his emotions. As you know what, Duke Negan was low-key a pretty high Sequence Beyonder. I didn't even realize he was Sequence 6. As a result, his mind went blank and he anxiously ran out, automatically opening the door to the sealed room. 2 seconds later, he snapped to his senses and turned around again. However, the figure that was covered by the black liquid and suitcase in the corners had disappeared. The Desire Apostle quickly left the villa, evacuating from the scene based on the predetermined route. It was at this moment that a thick sea of blood seemed to appear before his eyes. Damn. That's wild. Damn. Okay, the next chapter is an artifact. Yeah, let's update and let's keep reading. Hold up. Let's pause this bitch. And let's fucking keep reading. Hold up. 426. Copy. We are 1 hour, 15 minutes, 51 seconds. Damn, this is getting good. Fuck, we're so close to the end, man. I feel it. We're done within a week, bro. Quillingus was really cool. I liked him. I thought he was a really fucking cool villain. But this fucking Desire Apostle, I think this Desire Apostle is like low-key more impressive than Quillingus. I think I was more impressed with Quillingus because of Creeping Hunger. But this Desire Apostle is fucking wild, bro. This guy is fucking crazy. Alright, chapter 426 is called 142. The Desire, you're locked in because the end of each volume is peak. I know, it always ramps up, bro. 0 to 100. Azig kind of just OP. Kind of, bro. He is stupidly OP. He took out Quillingus right away, and at the time, I thought he was better because of Creeping Hunger. But now this Desire Apostle is looking stronger than Quillingus. But I don't think he's necessarily stronger than Azig. I mean, maybe. I mean, we'll see. No, I don't think he's stronger than Azig. I still think Azig is stronger than the Desire Apostle. But the Desire Apostle, who had once worn Patrick's Jason's skin, stopped in his tracks and looked around in bewilderment. I updated the chapter, right? Timestamps are good? Yes, yes, yes. Only now that he vaguely realized the danger was approaching, he was at the edge of the garden where the glass had withered due to the winter was revealing the dark brown soil. On the right side of the street, there weren't many pedestrians on the weekday afternoon. At this moment, there were only a few people passing by, but they didn't notice anything out of the ordinary. Suddenly, a silver glint appeared in the eyes of the Desire Apostle, and a person decking out in full body armor emerged from the other side of the garden. The armor was stained with congealed blood diagonally from the left shoulder all the way down. It excluded a bewitching beauty and appeared to be extremely heavy. Every step it took slightly shook the ground. Upon seeing this bloodstained silver armor, it's Leonard, right? Because he's still wearing it. The Desire Apostle felt as if he could breathe properly, as if he had met his most terrifying nemesis. Nemesis? How are they here so quickly? They saw through my ruse so quickly. The Desire Apostle regained his calm and cold-bloodedness, fully focused on sensing the emotional desires of the Beyonders inside the bloodstained silver armor. However, it's concealing his so the silver armor is why didn't I pick up on this? The silver armor is concealing Leonard's emotions. And if you conceal Leonard's emotions, he's like that's why he said he's the perfect nemesis for him, because he can't sense like what he's going to do next. Okay. I got it. However, to his despair, the silver armor completely... Oh, it literally says it right here. Next sentence. To his despair, the silver armor completely blocked his Beyonder powers. It was as if he had touched a rock, a piece of cold armor which had no one in it. The Desire Apostle had no choice but to raise his right hand, spreading out his giant back wings and bringing with it some blue flames that rapidly condensed. At that moment, a silver light flashed from his right palm and his thumb fell to the ground. The wound was extremely clear. Amidst the swishing sounds and a flash of silver, the remaining 9 fingers of the Desire Apostle were severed. The suitcase he was carrying also fell to the ground with a thud. The Desire Apostle pupils immediately contracted to a needle point, and he flapped a pair of huge bat wings on his back to escape in another direction. The shadow under his feet shrank back without anyone realizing it. Hiding on the spot, the Desire Apostle had only taken 2 steps when countless silver lights burst open from his body like blooming fireworks. The thick black liquid that covered his body splashed to the ground like raindrops. His forearms, shoulders, ribs, necks, and other parts of his body broke off and smoothly slid downwards. Splat, splat, splat. The pale blooded stained intestines of the Desire Apostle splashed to the ground. Along with some squirming stomach and his beating heart, which had yet to cease, this place where he stood was where the blood was the thickest. The further he went, the more splattered it looked, which when put together, they formed a beautiful flower of death. As Sequence 5 expert, a Desire Apostle, who had just completed this possible assassination, was dismembered without any resistance. This was grade 1 sealed artifact. It's over? That easy. It's over. A Sequence 5 expert, a Desire Apostle who had just completed an impossible assassination, was dismembered without any resistance. That was like Whiplash. No way it's over, bro. Right? This was a grade 1 sealed artifact. This was the sealed artifact that had caused over 100,000 people to lose their lives. Sealed artifact 142. Dressed in the terrifying looking armor, Leonard Mitchell struggled to take 2 steps forward, sized up the dismembered body on the ground, and raised his voice. He's not completely dead yet. He paused for a moment and then added, different devils have different characteristics. This Desire Apostle is a shadow shifter. He just abandoned his own body, only leaving a shadow he's alive. Only leaving a shadow behind. While sole Asir Soist instructed a number of Nighthawks and members of the machinery hive mind to keep ordinary people at bay, he surveyed the scenes and listened to Leonard. He took out his pocket watch and opened it. He asked with a serious expression, "There's only 10 minutes left. Is it enough? Don't force it." "No problem." 142 had locked onto him. "I can sense this excitement," Leonard said without hesitation. Soy spread his red gloved fingers and said to the other Nighthawks, "Bring hot water with you and follow Leonard closely. Once there are any problems, switch with him immediately and dig a bathtub on the spot. Also leave marks. The other team members and I will quickly catch up." Tap, tap, tap. The bloodstained silver armor began running in pursuit. Despite looking heavy, it was increasingly fast. Soy watched as the red gloves left behind, turning to look at Eikenser. "The Count Bernard, take the rest of the machinery hive mind members to that house. Watch the Duke's guards and anyone else that's alive at the scene." "Watch?" Eikenser subconsciously returned with a question. Soyce nodded seriously and said, "How can a desired apostle be able to determine that the Duke would be coming to this house today?" How do you even know that? To the point of precisely pinpointing the time and then perfectly luring the spell singer of God away. Eikenser was instantly enlightened. "Are you saying that a member of Duke's..." The blonde one. "Are you saying that the member of the Duke's guards or someone trusted by him is a partner of the desired apostle?" Oh, it's his secretary. His secretary is one of the other family members, right? Oh, otherwise, there was no way, because he didn't get hurt. And he was fighting him in the attic. Or like he sealed him off, right, to fight him. But I think he was just trying to hold him there so he can escape. Otherwise, there was no way that his time couldn't be that perfect. The so-called operation would have had any chance of success otherwise. It can only be said that this is the most possible cause. We cannot eliminate the assumption the desired apostle had a powerful clairvoyant. Soyce didn't overcome as he led a second batch of Nighthawks and followed the marks to reinforce his teammates up ahead. With a calm face, he led the rest of the machinery hive mind back to the house of Duke's mistress. He looked up at the pale sun behind the thin fog, and he knew that the situation in the whole of Backland, and even the whole of Lone Kingdom, or even the world, would change because of what had just happened today. In the darkness of the sewers, a shadow was advancing rapidly in a particular direction while clinging to the bottom of the stone wall. He wanted to take advantage of the fact that the bloodstained armor was tall and heavy, making it inconvenient for him to move around in certain narrow areas of the sewers, thus allowing him to shake him off his tail. Every time the shadow moved a certain distance forward, it would stop frozen in place. His pitch black surface continued to swell up and solidify as it was trying to produce new flesh and blood, but due to a lack of materials, it failed miserably. The desired apostle let out a painful gasp, feeling that he could lose control at any moment in this state. After a short breather, he continued to run for his life, unable to afford the time to decrease the threat of the problem he faced. He was also afraid that the terrifying bloodstained silver armor would silently catch up with him. At the Quilling Cup, Klein entered the lounge and took the newspapers to the toilet. He just went to the toilet. He was afraid that the desired apostle would flee in advance, leaving potential danger for him, Isengard, Stanton, Kozlana, and the innocent private detectives. Therefore, he planned on heading above the Grey Fog to perform another divination to confirm the desired apostle's present situation and thus adopt a target strategy. After repeating the previous process of replacing himself with a paper figurine, he sat in the seat of the fool, conjured Jason Brady's handkerchief, trying to divine his current location. In the dusky dream world, Klein saw the dark sewers. He saw a living shadow and how his body seemingly appeared to fill itself with flesh and blood, only to constantly fill, as well as tiny black dust that kept being shed from his body. The scene climbed higher and arrived above ground, revealing a towering cathedral. Holy Wind Cathedral. Klein opened his closed eyes and understood the situation of the desired apostle. He hasn't been caught yet, but he seems to be heavily injured. Oh, we're gonna go finish it. Oh, I didn't read what you said on Hinge, just in case it was a spoiler. I was about to read it, though. His condition in terrible shape and it's filled with abnormalities. His suitcase is gone, too. We could have used that money. It must have been dropped when he was injured. Klein thought for a moment. Using his divination, he recalled the map of Backland and made it appear before his eyes. Similarly, he came up with a rough layout of Backland sewers. Having previously made up full use of the sewer system, he had always been gathering similar information such as this. The main focus on East Borough of the Backland Bridges area and the area where he was located in Sherwood, Backland. After some hard work, he had long completed the first stage of his plan of understanding the main layouts of the sewer networks. To have a more in-depth understanding of it would require an extremely long period of persistence. When this time came, Klein even thought of infiltrating Backland's municipal hall and directly sneak a peek at the desired prince. According to the two maps and the scene in the dream divination, Klein noticed the Desire Apostle Berea hadn't fled in the direction of the Tusuk River. Instead, he had taken the opposite route to Hilsenboro as if he wanted to pass through the entire of the artificial lake in Empersboro. In other words, he's getting closer and closer to me, and Klein's mind stirred as he suddenly had an idea. Although I'm not sure which sewer he'll pass through, I can make a judgment via divination. He's definitely injured in a very strange state. His interference in this aspect has turned extremely weak. At close distance, it's not like I can find him. After all, I've seen what he really looks like and I have a grasp of his aura. When it comes to finding people, I'm a professional. I have to do something. I can't let him escape just like that. There's still time. After confirming the degree of danger, Klein made up his mind and returned to the real world. He took out the candle, quickly set up a ritual, summoned himself, and responded to himself. Not long after there... Wait, I scrolled down too much. Not long after, there was a figure in the black armor, wearing a black crown, the Dark Emperor, and a cloak of the same color in the bathroom. It was... Oh, he's using... Oh, he's going to go out in his with the Dark Emperor card. It was Klein in his spirit body state while carrying the Dark Emperor card. He also included mystical items such as the sun brooch and biological poison bottle, so as to ensure success. You gotta go. Hey, I'm not trying to set the bad news, but I do have to end stream in 20 minutes, and it looks like it's just about to get good. So we'll see if we stop at the end of this chapter or we rerun more. But if you're gonna head out, Romero, take care, man. I'll see you soon, okay, bro? Don't worry, I'll have it up right away. Hold up, let's finish this chapter and we can talk about it. He also included mystical items such as the sun brooch and biological poison bottle sets to ensure success. Then he disappeared into the air and left the Quillen Club in another direction. The current Klein could fly, so he was very fast, but he couldn't cause any wind because he was a spirit body. He scraped past a tree and took away a dead branch. Having seen Jason Brea's actual appearance before, together with his own memory and the handkerchief as a medium, Klein, combined with the layout map and the dowsing round divination, quickly determined the sewer areas. We're having another sewer fight. Quickly determined the sewer area that Jason had passed. One of the best fights this volume was in the sewer. I'm feeling the same thing happen again. After entering the pitch black and fatigued area, Klein used his maximum speed to pass through a large number of narrow areas and entered a relatively spacious area. The dark river flowed and a mixed smell filled the air. He would occasionally change his direction and chase after Jason Brea. The Desire Apostle nearly lost control again. Oh, it lost control. Oh, it almost lost control. Oh, this is getting good. He stopped and pressed himself against the damp wall and cold pipes, trying hard to rein his bloodlust and his desire to kill pant. The thin shadow started to move. At this moment, he suddenly turned his head to look at the spot he had just passed. The pitch black armor and the black crown first entered his eyes, outlining an extremely imposing figure. This is so cool. Behind the figure, the weightless cloak lightly swayed as he moved forward. It's nearby. A body of... No way! We're gonna run into Leonard! Wait! A body of heavy silver armor stained in blood went through the entrance and climbed down to the sewers. Shut the fuck up, dude! What? Dude, hold up. Oh my god, this is such a fucking bad point to stop, man. I want to read for 2 more hours, man, but I can't. I can't neglect, you know. I can't neglect the people around me. Shit, man. Fuck. I think I have to end. Shit, I'm gonna have to end today. And we might do an unannounced stream if we get everything sorted out. Hold the fuck up. Let me do overall thoughts, man. Fuck, this is so fucking good. You can stop now. This is such a... It's getting so fucking good, dude. Hold on, let me do my timestamp. Fuck. Shit, dude. I'm so fucking mad we're stopping here. Holy shit. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I can't neglect Ellie. I can't have her, like, stuck. I have to take her out for a little bit, and I have to spend time with my girlfriend. And I also have to eat. I haven't cooked, because I just turned on the stream right away. And, like, I'm trying to do all of this. It's almost time for sunset, you know? Oh, it's gonna be such a good stream next stream. Oh man. Okay, let's talk, man. This was such a good neglect everyone. There's only I would love to neglect everything outside of streaming right now. But I can't. You know how I cook in this series? I need to cook IRL right now, man. Otherwise I'm gonna starve over here. Oh man, this is such a it's so good. So you're telling me Leonard is gonna be using his silver armor to fight the Desire Apostle, and coincidentally, he's going to run into Klein wearing his black armor. So now they're, oh, this is so cool. They're both donned in armor, and they're not even gonna notice each other's presence. Like, of course, like, they're gonna see each other when they fight the Desire Apostle, but like, they're not even gonna know who they are. But I already know it. Klein is gonna realize who he is. Klein is gonna realize that he's Leonard, and then I feel like Leonard is gonna, like, when Klein is fighting, he's gonna have like some inkling, suspicion, like, like, or not a suspicion, but he's gonna be reminiscent. Everyone is in backland, bro. Oh my god, I wish I want to keep reading for like another hour or two, but if I do read for another hour or two, I'm not gonna have time for everything I have to do right now. Oh man, we're just gonna end stream. We're gonna end the video at such a good, crucial point. I'm gonna get rid of all my IRL stuff, and if I have time to stream, I will do an unannounced stream before I go to bed today, because this is really good. Nah, trust us. You can stop now. Okay, I'll stop now because I know it's gonna get. I know after this, this next fight. Oh, next fight. You know what? Okay. All right. We'll save stream for tomorrow, and I'll properly title it. I'll be like, Klein and Leonard team up. Klein and who versus? Oh, gonna be a good fight. It's gonna be a good fight. All right, we're gonna end stream right there. We're gonna end the video, and if you like what you see, I will see you guys all tomorrow, or by the time this video is up, less than 24 hours. We should have the scheduled stream up right away. All right, guys. Peace. It's gonna be. Oh, dude. It's gonna be such a fucking good fight. Hold up. I said peace, and the video's still going. This is going to be hands down the best fight in Volume 2. I already know it. This is going to be the best fight in Volume 2, and you can't tell me otherwise. This is so weird. I'm looking at my camera. I'm looking directly at you guys. I never do this. I always look at myself up here, or I'm looking at chat. But this is my first time where I'm looking directly at you. Yes, you. This is going to be the best fight in Volume 2. On the Fool. Holy Lords of Storms. This is going to be the... Oh, we're just going to end stream. We'll be back. We'll be back in less than 24 hours. It's going to be so good. It's going to be so fucking good. All right, guys. Peace. Have a beautiful day. Later, guys. I'm end stream. I'm going to try and get all my shit sorted out right now. All right. Peace. Later.